Moving on to our next question. This comes from Steve in California, who asks, is bread okay for muscle building, or will I just gain fat? Bread has been fairly demonized over the years, with low carb diets and keto diets cutting out carbs almost completely. Bread is almost seen as the really evil one. Like pasta, oats, rice, potatoes are evil-ish. Bread is seen as super evil. Don't eat bread. Bread is bad. Now, for me, life is too short to do without bread. I love fresh bread. I am not going to give up bread regardless of what any diet tells me to do. But if you're trying to build muscle, then you need to get carbs from somewhere. For example, if you're having to eat, say, 3,000 calories every day to try and build some muscle, 200 grams of protein is enough per day, but that's only 800 calories. You now have 2,200 calories to get from somewhere else in your diet to get up to 3,000 calories. Now, those have to come from either fat or from carbohydrates. So unless you're going to walk around eating sticks of butter all day, getting all of those calories from fat, you're going to need to eat some carbohydrates and possibly a few hundred grams of carbohydrates. We need carbohydrates to fuel muscle growth. You need to be in a calorie surplus to fuel the building of extra muscle mass. And so carbohydrates are the ideal thing for you to eat. So, like I said, things like pasta, rice, potatoes, and things like that are excellent sources of carbohydrates. The thing is, those need a bit of preparation. You need to cook those things. You need to heat them up in some way. Bread is right there. Bread is right there in a packet. You can grab it and eat it. So by all means, bread can and should contribute to your total carbohydrate intake each day because it's just so easy to prepare. However, all breads aren't created equal. And this is where the bread is evil thing probably comes from, because if you look at that kind of super processed white sliced bread you find in the supermarket, the stuff with like a shelf life of about a year, that stuff is very nasty because it is just very, very high in sugar, very high glycemic index rating too. And so it will peak our insulin levels and may lead to fat gain if you're basing too much of your diet on this kind of cheap, nasty bread. It is okay sometimes, but it shouldn't be your staple bread. When it comes to bread, the darker the better, basically. So whole wheat bread, bread with seeds in it, pumpernickel bread, things like that. Even for you hipsters, sourdough bread is great too. The fresher, the better. The less processed it is, the better. Bread can help you build muscle if you're trying to get several hundreds of grams of carbohydrates into your diet each day to get into the calorie surplus that you need to build muscle mass. The nasty white bread should not be your go-to carbohydrate, obviously, for most of those, but there is absolutely no harm in you having some of the healthier, darker breads for your breakfasts and lunches.